right, so ready to kind of shift gears a little today.
All right.
We're going to take a deep dive into a devotional called Great is His Faithfulness, and it's based on Lamentations 3.2223.
Okay.
Now, before you think we've gone all religious podcasts on, hang in there, even if that's not really your thing.
Sure.
This piece has some like really powerful ideas, I think, about dealing with hard times and finding hope.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think you'll find it pretty insightful.
Well, and, you know, a devotional, just to clarify, it's like a short reflection piece, you know, meant to kind of get your spiritual thoughts going.
Yeah.
And this one uses Lamentations, which is interesting because it's actually a book in the Bible all about grief and despair.
Yeah.
But even in the middle of all that darkness, it finds the strength in God's love and faithfulness, which, you know, anybody can connect with.
Absolutely.
When they're facing some kind of struggle in their own life.
That's it. It's about finding that solid ground when everything else feels shaky.
Yeah.
And so this devotional kind of breaks it down into three main points. God's love as a source of strength.
Okay.
This daily renewal of His compassion.
Okay.
And then how unwavering His faithfulness is.
Yeah.
And we're going to kind of unpack each of those.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I think you'll find some interesting stuff along the way.
Absolutely. And we're going to connect this to another passage over in Isaiah that really brings home this idea of God's strength and renewal. So.
Okay, so this devotional jumps right in.
Okay.
Talking about God's love kind of preserving us.
Right.
Even when things are tough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It says, because of His great love, we are not consumed by like all of life's trials. So this whole idea of God's love as this source of strength during those tough times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen that play out in people's lives?
You know, it's interesting because it's acknowledging suffering is real.
Right.
Life is full of challenges.
And it's not trying to pretend otherwise. It's not sugarcoating it. It's just saying, but here's this idea, this God's love as like this source of strength and resilience you can tap into.
Yes.
You know, to face those challenges.
Exactly.
It kind of reminds me of all the research that's been done on the power of belief.
Right.
Because studies have shown people with strong faith often show more resilience when things get tough.
It's like even when everything else feels like it's falling apart, there's this bedrock there that keeps you from being completely overwhelmed.
Exactly.
You see this in stories of people overcoming crazy odds, you know?
Yeah.
Loss, disaster, whatever it is.
Right.
There's often this underlying belief in something bigger.
Right.
That seems to help them through it.
Yeah, and it speaks to the human need for connection, I think.
Yeah.
Like for something beyond ourselves to hold on to when things go sideways.
And then it brings in this idea of God's mercy being new every day.
Right. It says, His compassions are new every morning.
Yeah.
That is so comforting to me.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? Like hitting the reset button every single day.
Every day.
And it makes me think about, you know, the Stoics.
Right.
They talk about this idea of starting each day fresh.
Right.
You know, choosing to focus on the present instead of getting all hung up on past mistakes.
It's not about ignoring the past.
Right, exactly.
It's about realizing we have a chance to start fresh every single day.
Yeah.
And the devotional even asks this question. Do you start each morning burdened by yesterday's struggles? Or do you embrace the renewal that God offers?
That's a good question.
Man, that one got me thinking.
It is a thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
You know, it challenges us to think about how we approach each day.
Yes.
Are we going to let yesterday's junk weigh us down?
Right.
Or are we open to a new beginning?
Yeah.
And that doesn't even have to be tied to a specific belief system. It's a universal thing.
Yeah, it's for anybody.
Anybody.
So then, this leads us to that third point.
Okay.
This unwavering nature of God's faithfulness.
Right.
The devotional is saying that this isn't just like a nice sentiment.
Yeah.
This is a fundamental part of who God is.
Yeah.
So how do you see that concept of faithfulness playing out in the bigger picture, this devotional?
Well, you know, it's like people and circumstances are going to let you down.
Yeah.
But this constant remains.
Right.
Like His promises, they don't waver.
Right.
It doesn't matter if we falter. They're still there.
Right.
So it's about finding something stable, something you can depend on in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable.
It's like an anchor in the middle of a storm, you know?
Right.
This unshakable certainty that there's something bigger that's holding everything together. This idea of renewal, it makes me think of this passage in Isaiah.
Oh, yeah.
Isaiah 40.28-31.
Yeah.
It talks about those who hope in the Lord renewing their strength, mounting up with wings like eagles.
It's powerful imagery.
So powerful.
Yeah, you really get a sense of soaring above the challenges, finding new energy, a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
And, it acknowledges that even young people get tired and weary.
Right.
But those who hope in the Lord, they shall renew their strength.
So it's saying everybody gets tired, everybody faces difficulties.
Right.
But there's a source of strength that goes beyond our limits.
Yeah, it's bigger than us.
Yeah, whether you call it faith or resilience or something else entirely.
Exactly.
It's this idea of tapping into something larger than ourselves to overcome those challenges.
And that source, according to Isaiah, is in trusting in God's power and letting ourselves be renewed by his Spirit.
So what does all this mean for you listening right now?
Yeah.
We've been exploring this idea of finding strength and hope in something bigger than ourselves.
Right.
Whether you call it faith, resilience, the human spirit. What stands out to you as the most impactful thing from this deep dive?
I think the biggest thing is the power of renewal.
Yeah.
Starting each day with a fresh perspective.
Right.
Trusting in a source of strength that's beyond our own limitations.
Yes.
And finding that courage to keep moving forward.
Yes.
Even when things are tough.
I love that. And here's a final thought to get to chew on.
Okay.
The devotional really emphasized God's unwavering faithfulness.
Right.
But what does faithfulness mean to you in your own life? What are you committed to even when things are hard? That's something worth thinking about, don't you think?
Absolutely. And that's what's so great about these deep dives. They get us thinking and help us discover new insights, even in places we wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
You bet.
Until next time.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.